Welcome to another Industry Insights. Today I have with me Cindy Hayden, 2020 President of the Pinellas Realtor Organization, 2021 Women's Council of Realtors Chapter President-elect, and Stellar Director. Welcome, Cindy. Hi, Mindy. Mindy Ravillo, 2016 President of the Pinellas Realtor Organization, 2020 President of the Stellar MLS Board, and current Stellar Director. Today we're here to talk about the Pinellas Realtor Organization and our membership within Stellar MLS. So the Pinellas Realtor Organization is an organization that represents nearly 10,000 realtors. We provide education, support, and a voice for all of our members. We are also a member of Stellar MLS, a group that encompasses over 15 associations across the state providing MLS services. So today we'd like to chat with these two directors and experienced people about Stellar and what this means to you, the member. Mindy, what should subscribers know about Stellar MLS that they don't already know?
Boy, that's a big question. I think that Stellar is recognized nationally. So by other big, large associations throughout the United States, Stellar ranks number 3 in size. And they always have their finger on the pulse of the industry, what's going on in the marketplace, what the new technology trends are. And they strive to provide best-in-class products and services to their members. They govern themselves by their always principles, and to name some of those are what we offer the best data, we listen before we speak, we deliver stellar service, never ever accept the status quo, and they are truly recognized as leaders in the industry. Just recently, they were T360 conducted a survey, and some of the topics that they were compared to these other large associations, they looked at topics like service, technology, support, and leadership. And Stellar MLS got superiors in all of those categories. So they just really do a great job keeping in touch with what's going on in the industry and providing best-in-class products and services to their members.
Oh, that's terrific. Thank you, Mindy. Excellent. Cindy, tell me a little bit about how Stellar MLS benefits Pro and Cpro as an organization.
Thank you, Glenn. So Mindy really hit on it, because Stellar, as you can imagine, is the 3rd largest MLS in the country. And so what that means for Cpro and Pro is that they have the attention of and the access to developers that are creating and listening to what our members need. They also have the buying power. We find that at Pro that we've been able to bring products like MO Viewer and My Condo Plans at an affordable price to our 10,000 members because we have 10,000 members. And yet it might surprise you that 62% of the associations out there have less than 600 members. And so it's really hard for them to offer the breadth. So what I see as a director is Stellar is able to offer things like Remind, which would be thousands of dollars for an individual agent, and Cloud CMA and other products as part of our MLS dues. Now, in the day-to-day realtor, what you might really appreciate, and again, when you hear from other people, and some of our agents and realtors work in counties like Hernando that have their own MLS, but interesting, on the East Coast, they have so many MLSs that there are brokerages and agents who have to belong to 5 MLSs to get access to the properties they want to show their clients. And so here we have access across almost all of the west coast of Florida, now as high as Gainesville. So for our realtors, it makes not only access to those properties, but the information, that you can see what's going on in that. In addition, we're only paying 1 fee for that. We're not having to pay lots of fees. And that fee is typically, when we look at other MLSs, our fee is very competitive and traditionally lower, especially considering everything we have. So And I would say finally, the thing that Stellar offers, and again, it's like at Pro, until somebody experiences something else and they come back and they say, hey, your customer service and your willingness to listen and work with us is outstanding. That's the true for Stellar too. And so we have access, we are well represented. And so members' voices and issues and concerns are heard. And I think that, again, that stands to what Mindy said. That's the reason they rank superior, because they work to be a best-in-class organization, which means taking care of the broker and the agent and ensuring they're successful. And so that, I think, is a real benefit that probably people don't understand on the outside looking in, but I can tell you as a leader and president of Pro, as well as being on the board of directors, it is a big focus and they do it really, really well.
That is terrific. Those are a lot of benefits to our members. Mindy, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
Well, with them being focused on the technology, it does allow the associations to focus on advocacy, education, membership development, community involvement, and professional standards. So it's a good partnership. That partnership between the regional MLS and the associations is really critical to the success of the regional MLS.
Excellent, excellent. Very good. Cindy, I have a 3-in-1 question for you. So where is Stellar MLS headquartered? Who owns it and how big is it?
Thank you, Glenn. So it's actually headquartered in Orlando, Florida, and we just grew by another association. The Gainesville-Alachua Association of Realtors is in the process of onboarding. And so that takes, we have 16 associations, which actually in the Stellar model are shareholders. So Pro owns shares in it and those other 16. They also, though, might be interesting for members to know is we have 3 customer organizations, Puerto Rico and 2 other smaller associations. And where that fits in is, like I said to you, when there are small associations, say under 400 members, they couldn't afford to buy in as a shareholder, and yet they really can benefit from the economies of scale and the leadership that Stellar offers. So Stellar, again, and the shareholders have found a way to make that happen. They're actually now, we cover almost 70,000 plus members across the state of Florida and Puerto Rico. And what might surprise people is that we actually represent a third of all real estate realtors in Florida, and yet we produce 55% of all transactional volume in the state. So again, they are looking to grow, they're looking to expand, and I think maybe in the future, I think we're learning through COVID that state lines and all that kind of stuff isn't necessarily a boundary, right? People that can work together, and again, Puerto Rico shows that, there's an opportunity to plug into a best of class like Stellar MLS.
Terrific, terrific. You know, it gives us broad access to lots of places. Mindy, tell us what's on the horizon for products and initiatives at Stellar.
Well, just recently, Stellar decided to take $1 million to the technology reserve. So they're looking at technology and developing that so that it's very user friendly, so that it talks. I can't give you all the specifics, but it will be a hub where the user will be able to have all the access to all the products in one general location, and it's very exciting. It's a big initiative. Also, they're working on having front end of choice, meaning if a smaller association is running a different MLS system other than Matrix, so we use Matrix, they'll be able to do that and bring that association in as well. So a lot of technology coming in the future.
Excellent.
Big stuff.
Excellent. That's great to hear. We're looking forward to all those things. Cindy, how does the average member get involved with Stellar MLS and its planning for the future?
Thank you, Glenn. So about, I don't know, 6 years ago or so, Stellar really looked at that and said, how do we make sure that the member with the boots on the ground has input as to how they're experiencing Stellar, how can we improve it, what information and changes. So they developed the MLS Advisory Council, which is affectionately known as the MAC. And this provides two-way communications between the shareholders, associations like Pro and Cpro, and the Stellar MLS. And what happens is those individuals are really the gateway to sharing ideas. I know Chris Light, as the member of Cpro and Pro, is on that and has done a great job. And so it's a place where people can start to share and learn more. I also would say that if you're interested, be sure at Pro and Cpro, we developed an application. So for people that are really want to know more, get more involved, there is an application that you can fill out to say, hey, I'd like to be involved more and be considered, because when these positions come open, again, it's a way for us to keep a pulse on who is interested. I would also say that if you go to the Stellar MLS site and look at resources, there's a lot of information there. And again, Mindy and I will both tell you, in my experience as directors, that we're always here as well to hear concerns or input or ideas. And then one thing to follow up on what Mindy was sharing is, you know, what I love about Stellar is they're not so technology focused that they're oblivious to what else is going on. So one of the conversations happening across Pro and Cpro and our industry as a whole is diversity and inclusion and implicit bias. And so we've been having conversations at that board level to ensure that how we're presenting data and how we're describing fields and how we're doing those things don't unintentionally impact or extend any of those things. And so I just speak to the kind of strategic thinking that goes on, and also like keeping, as Mindy said, a pulse on what's going on and being a supporter and a conduit of that across, again, even outside of, you could say, just MLS. So they're a great neighbor and partner in our business, and no matter what, they know that what they deliver is the heart of our business. And one last thing on that, and so people feel comfortable, because I've heard a lot of questions, is one of the things that each member can be confident of is that when they sign agreements, the member's data is confidential. No third party can take that and do something with it. And so again, it's those kind of oversight and protections that they do. And you know, at Pro, we started to do an international MLS, right? And we looked at it, we said, hey, that's great. Another association had signed up. And we said, hey, let's go to MLS, to Stellar, and make sure there's no holes in this that would expose our members. As it turned out, there's some things that they helped us tighten up so we could not only deliver a great service, but protect our members. So again, they're a great partner. And like I said, grateful to be a part of it. Thank you.
Excellent. Hey, Mindy, Cindy was talking about this in communication, and today we find a lot of our members don't know that they call the Pinellas Realtor organization to talk about Stellar questions that they have, day-to-day questions. Can you tell us a little bit about what might be a better way for them to get that kind of support?
Well, they can call Stellar directly, and I can share a few things from the membership about, like, a few quotes about Stellar. So one, I can read this. It says, I get anxious easily when I cannot figure out something after 3 tries on my own. Staff always calmly and slowly walks me through the issues so that I both get it accomplished and understand for the next time I encounter the issue. So that's actually a quote from a member about the service from Stellar. Yeah. Another one is, Stellar allows me to obtain tools that in the past I had to obtain elsewhere. So that's the collective, you know, buying power you get with 70,000 members. And Cindy, you know, she really nailed it when she talks about they aren't just focused on technology, even though they are providing the biggest tool that we need to perform our business. But they just announced the Fair Housing Initiative, where they want everybody to, you know, do their part there. And she was talking about how they're naming the fields and making sure we're not, stepping on anyone's toes or saying the wrong thing as far as any of those issues. So it's just a fantastic organization, and you can always call there for support, and they'll stay on the phone with you until every issue is resolved.
That is terrific. So thank you both for joining us today. I greatly appreciate it, and I'm much better informed about where we are with the Stellar MLS. I hope our members are as well. And stay tuned for the next edition of Industry Insights.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.